Hello everyone. Welcome back for another Anything Goes Saturday. I am still working on that journal from the class that I took, and this was what I created last week. This week I'm going to do the back of this. Now I had put mine back together at the other one, but my tape is not sticking, probably because of water I'm using. So when I put it on, I will use the tape and I'll also use the glue so it sticks. All right, we're going to do some watercolor, smushing. All right, I've got a piece of acetate, and I don't have the ink cubes for all of them. So I'm going to use this and see how it goes. Now, this is pumice stone. And I'm going to put some down. I may need to add more. All right, I'm gonna put some water in here. And then I'm gonna move it around. Ooh, and I created a mess. Let me get that off of there before I get it on the other side of my, I'm gonna pull that off. All right. All right, so I mixed that up. Now I need to take this. Oh, wow, I have made a mess big time. All right. Okay, I'm gonna flip this over real quick. And then I'm gonna splotch it around. And then I'm gonna dab it because it's too much. I shouldn't have put that much on there. Okay. Boy, I have a real mess. All right. Well, I got most of it up, and I'm happy with this, other than this big piece up here. Let me see if I can get some of that off there. Yeah. And I need to dry this. So let me dry this, and I'll be back. Okay, this is dry, and I'm going to use bundled sage next. That's a little darker than I would like, but that's okay. And I'm only going to put 1 drop on here. Only because 2 drops was too much last time. And I didn't clean my brush, so give me a minute to spray some water on it and clean it up, because it'll. All right, now. Okay. I'm going to really spread this out. I didn't use as much ink or water. All right, now, let's see if I can do this. I'm going to do it over here. Yeah, see, it splots. All right. Now what I'm going to do is that. Let me wipe this up. This is not how I usually do my smooshing, but oh. I want some more green to show up. Let me. All right, I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's been an interesting thing. We'll see how it goes, because the next time I'm using an ink pad. So let me dry this and I'll be back. Okay, now I'm going to use Scorched Timber, and this is really dark. So I'm going to, again, move it around. All right. Turn it upside down. And I'm going to I need some up here. This is working out better than the others did. All right, I'm leaving that. I'm gonna clean everything up and I'll be back. Okay, we're done with our splotches, smushing. This is a little darker than I would like, but you know, when you don't have the ink pad, you kind of fudge it. I'm gonna do some stamping and I needed something that would go with this. I'm gonna try this Cappuccino from 49 and Market. I think it'll go with it, so let's find out. And I pulled in some splotches and I'm gonna do some splotches here and here, and I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna come down here and here. I'm gonna be turning this thing there. I think that goes very well with it. It pulls in a brown that it needed. All right, the next one I'm gonna use is some bigger splotches, and I'm not gonna use the whole thing, and I'm gonna kind of, I'm gonna have to hit it. Okay, there's something there. Sometimes all right, there. I had to go over it because it needed some more. All right, so there's that. Then I'm gonna switch to, and I'm playing again because I don't have this color in an ink pad, pumice stone. I'm gonna make my own ink pad. I'm using a baby wipe. I don't know if it's gonna work. We'll find out. Ooh, I've got ink all over the place on that. Hang on, I gotta clean that up. It's all over me. All right. And then this, I'm gonna come in here. Ah, good. And then just to kind of connect it all, I'm gonna put that there. It doesn't show up a lot, but a little bit. And then I'm gonna pull in some lines, and I'm gonna start with this one. And I'm gonna go, I'm not using the whole stamp. And it's gonna be very, very pale because I don't have the ink pad. And then I'm gonna use the bottom. So I've used a different side for a different look. All right, there we go. And I think that's it. The first one turned out better because it was darker. So it does kind of work to use that if you don't have one. All right, let me get this out of the way and we're going to go to the next one. And this one, I'm going to move that up there. I don't have the Bundled Sage ink pad, but I do have the Mowed Lawn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this script stamp. And let's see if that'll go. So I'm going to off stamp it. And I'm not going to use the whole thing, the whole stamp. You don't have to. So I'm coming in here like so. And then I'm going to, whoops, wrong side. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to try and tie it all together. Oh, I didn't off stamp it, so it's too dark. Oh, let me see if I can blot it. What happens if I do that? If it lightens it. Well, if I smear it, it does. But that's okay. All right, there. Dang. You get so excited when you're doing stuff, it messes up. All right, now, our next step. We need to do some embossing paste, texture paste. So I have my texture paste, and I've used this stencil. It's from Arden Creative Studio. It's some kind of ledger or something. And I'm gonna put this on right about there. And now the key here is doing this so that I don't get that, I don't wanna have to clean up too much. So, all right. And I've got to go across the top here. I'll put some here. Oh, that's a hard piece. No, it's not. Okay. All right, let me pick this up. Oh, good. I don't have any cleanup. All right, I've got some jagged lines down there, but I don't care. That kind of adds to it. Well, actually, it's part of the stencil. Okay, that has to dry, and I got to get all this cleaned up. So let me do that, and I'll be back. Okay, my texture paste is dry. I have pulled in some elements from the laser cuts. I've got this compassy looking thing that I'm going to add. I'm going to use some media glue. I may end up having to go back and use hot glue, but we'll see. So I'm going to put this on here and like so. And I'm going to put a block on top of it to kind of hold it down because my paper is warped. Let's put a big block on there so it stays down. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sentiment that also comes from the laser cuts. It's called A Little Glimpse. In the one that I did before, I put something about my story. It's on this side. What did it say? Everyone has a story. I thought A Little Glimpse went with it very well. So I'm going to put that back on there, and I'm going to put this on with some little tiny foam adhesives. Okay, let me move this now. I think that's probably grabbed it enough. And this is going to go in here. And I'm using it to kind of hide some of that glue. I don't know how this is going to dry, so we'll find out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck a botanical under here. So I'm going to add some glue. Let me start over here. All right. I'm going to tuck that end up under there. And I need to come over some. I want to go under there. There we go. I had to find the right spot. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to add is my butterfly. And this is a vellum butterfly. So I'm just going to kind of gently pull the wings up just to give it some movement. And I'm going to put my glue back behind the body because it's dark. And I'm going to tuck it kind of under here. There we go. I want to hide that circle, but I still want some of the, I got a little bit of wiggle room. You know what? I'm going to let it dry and then I'll pull the wings up. So, there's today's idea for my journal. I'm not going to attach this right now because of the fact that I want this to dry. I don't want anything to move. So I'll leave it and I'll attach it. And you'll see it in my pictures on my blog, link below. Have a super Saturday. Bye.